Hello and welcome. It's time to hear what's on my mind on this episode of the Trisha's 2 Cents Podcast. I'm your host, Trisha. First, I want to thank everyone who has taken the time to listen to me. Remember, you can always reach out to me through email at trishas2cents@yahoo.com, or you can DM me on Instagram or Facebook. And I would always like to hear from you. Now, you may not know what I physically look like because, of course, this is all audio. But if you check out my website, which is at the trishas2centspodcast.wordpress.com, you will see that my hair is totally gray. Now, in the last few years, since gray has been a trend, most people think that I dye my hair gray. And that is funny to me because this journey to gray hair, it hasn't been easy. I started graying in my 20s, little strands here and there. Because, it's genetics. Both of my parents grayed early and they had me in their 30s. So I've known them mostly gray. And, the gray was coming in and I didn't like it. I'm going to tell you, I hated my hair. And of course, no one wants to look older than what they are. And of course, gray hair is a sign of age, older age. And that's not what I wanted for myself. And so I was so afraid that the gray hair was going to make people think that I was so old. So, I totally hated it. I did everything I could to hide it. The color, Miss Clairol was my best friend. I colored it so much that my barber told me, she said, either you're going to have to make a decision because your hair is thinning from you dyeing it so much. Because I had gotten to the point where I had to dye it weekly in order to keep up with how much gray hair was coming in. And my mother would tell me, she said, Trisha, your face isn't old. People can look at you and see that you're not old. Your hair is just gray. But, I still couldn't accept it. I remember one of my friends said, yeah, I saw your mom driving your car. This is one time when I had decided to go gray. And she said, I saw your mom driving your car. But that wasn't my mother. It was me. So I went back to dye my hair again. So it took me several times to get to the point where I had to accept it. And, I was ridiculed for my hair. Once I did accept it and stop dyeing it, and, people was asking me, why don't you dye it? Even people that I don't want to, say who they are, but people that I had to deal with that I really couldn't shut out. And they were like, why don't you dye it? I knew they were talking behind my back, but, I pressed on. And then, lo and behold, some young celebrity started to wear their hair gray. And then, of course, once they do that, it becomes fashionable. And then people were trying to get their hair gray. They were dying to have gray hair, if you get that pun. So then it became where people kept asking me, how did you get that color? Oh, who dyed your hair? How'd you get that mixture? And I said, this is my natural hair color. People are literally trying to figure out how to get the mixture just right in the bowl. Because you got to bleach your hair and everything to go a lighter color. They are literally trying to bleach it and do everything to get this color. And it's so funny to me. So when they ask me, how do you get this color? How do you get that color? And I said, Jesus, because I don't know. This is what grows. And some people don't even believe me. And I'm like, this is what grows out of my head. I'm telling you, this is my natural hair color. And some people believe me and some don't. and that's okay too, you know. And it's funny because almost daily, especially at work, because I work in the public, and so I encounter all kinds of people on a daily basis, and people tell me that they love my hair, and I graciously thank them, because after all this time and after all I have been through struggling with this hair of mine, I love it too. And I'm thankful for it because it's different and it's me. And this is what I'm known for, because if I'm at work and someone trying to figure out, who they talk to, they say the lady with the gray hair, and everybody instantly knows who they're talking about, because that's who I am. I'm known as the lady with the gray hair. And I like being different. I like being unique. I like being who I am, because the Bible says in Psalm 139:14, in the first half of it, it says, I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So God made me with this hair. And some people still don't understand why I embrace it at my young age when I tell them I'm 48. And that's okay. Because I'm the only one that has to deal with it. But I like being unique. I like being different. I mean, if we all the same, what's the point? Right? What's the point of all of us being cookie cutter? I like being who I am. So just remember that any decisions that we make about ourselves and our life, or things that we do, even something as simple as choosing to embrace your natural hair color, or choosing to embrace your natural hair texture, or your natural curls, or whatever you choose, any decision that you make, that you are the one that have to deal with it. No one else. Only you. Remember that. Only you have to deal with it. Right? Thanks for listening to this episode of the Trisha's 2 Cents podcast. Join me on the next episode as I give life lessons through my experience, my growth, and always from my heart. Make sure you subscribe on iHeart, Apple, or your favorite listening platform.